like you have emotional logic and you have logical logic, and you have to choose which one suits that situation at the time. Do you know what I'm saying? It's true.
When you say emotional logic, how can you give an example?
For example, I'll use a situation with one of my friends. We used to get into arguments because I would explain to them, you have to pay attention to your emotions and you have to work through them. That is logical. It's using your emotions, but it's being logical. And they were like, no, I don't need to look at my emotions right now. I have things to focus on, so on and so forth. But their unresolved emotions were getting in the way of them sorting out what they needed to sort out, because they would just go lash out every so often and this, that. I don't know if you look at yes.
I was going to say, like, I feel where you're going with it, but I disagree. I think logic and emotion are two completely different things. They are two completely different things. If you're operating from a place of emotion, that is a feeling. It's not thought, it's a feeling. That's emotion.
There's emotional intelligence though, isn't there? And that's...
Yeah, well, that's not being questioned. Like the logical is what makes sense. If we look at this on paper, what makes sense? This is, I'm going to think this through, and what is logical, A to B. And emotion is just, this is how I feel.
Why don't women ever pick partners that make sense?
Because I think that they lead with their emotions. I think as women, we tend to. And I think that when you are interested in somebody, your all logic goes out of the window.
I just want to quickly say, going back to your point, maybe I worded what I said wrong. So yes, of course, an emotion is a feeling. However, you can look at that feeling and be like, is it logical to feel this way? Like, for instance, someone might say something, and I feel like women do this a lot. Men even actually do it. People do this a lot. Someone will say something to you, and then you'll be like, oh, are you trying to say I'm this? So on and so forth, because you're reacting with a feeling. Like, you might feel ashamed, so on and so forth. But you have to take a step back and logically look, is this feeling actually... rooted in my own insecurities, whatever. And then if it's illogical to feel that feeling, then that's what I will call emotional logic, because then you've looked at that emotion with logic. Obviously, there's logic that's objective logic. Feeling is something personal, and therefore that's why I separated the two kind of things. So just
I get what you're trying to say. You're trying to basically say, like, I don't know, if someone comes and knocks your drink on your lap or something, and you be like,
Yeah, exactly.
But if you step back and think about it, you think, oh, it might be an accident. You get me? Like, let me just leave this person alone. Like,
so you're saying sometimes it's about taking responsibility for your own feelings, that it's not necessarily like understanding where that feeling's coming from and tracking yourself in that sense?
It's not about taking responsibility for your own feeling per se, because sometimes the way you feel is the other person's fault. However, it's about being the bigger person to your own feelings and be like, you know what, I'm big enough that I can deal with this without projecting it outside, and therefore I'm going to go about this situation with logic. I'm not disregarding my own feelings.
I agree with you, actually. I feel like your feelings don't matter. I mean, as women, we feel one way one day. We're about to get our period, then we feel another. Then it's like we're in, even most of us on the couch, we're in for a minute, then we go back, then we leave, then we go. I feel like love is a choice. And I feel like you're right. I think that, we should operate with more emotion, but we don't as women.
I feel like a lot of women, a lot of people in general, I should say, they do not have a lot of organic thoughts. Their thoughts are, like I was saying earlier, you can make anything make sense, and there's a lot of social media input and all these kind of things. So a woman will be like, oh, this is the man I want because of A, B, C, D reasons, and then they'll get too deeply involved in that, and then they won't be able to realize, oh, this is not actually what's good for me. This is just what I've been influenced to think that I want, but actually it doesn't really work for me. And then they kind of get stuck in that cycle kind of thing. And that's to answer your question, why don't women ever choose stable guys?
But then again, if love is a choice, then how are we all just like not choosing to like love these men? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if
we choose bad,
but we don't choose it, we feel it.
Yeah, like
you fall.
You can't control the things
you
that
can't control these emotions, because you know the person is bad for you. So why would anyone go, I'm going to choose that anyway? No, because you feel like you love them, and it's not a choice.
I think you can control it though, don't you? I think sometimes we just let it get a bit out of control.
You choose who you have sex with. So you could feel one way. You could feel one way about a guy, but if you see red flag, you don't have to sleep.
But sex and love are two different things.
Yeah, but where does it start? Right?
I feel like you can't, like, for example, you could be with someone for a long time. You realize, that you love them. You can't just switch it off when you realize they're starting to act different. You can't just turn it off and be like, yeah, I don't love you no more.
Yeah, but
it doesn't work.
You can
like
make
that.
a choice.
Yeah.
You can make a choice.
You can make a choice to leave them, but it's not going to stop what you feel. You get me? Like, you can still feel a way. Like, you might even miss them because now you feel like you love the person. They've done you like this, but you've left. And now you're feeling like, oh, that's what makes people want to go back as well, because it's like, oh, like, you start to second guess, like, oh, did they even do this that bad? Was it me? Was I overreacting? Like, it's not a choice, in my opinion.
I mean, how is it not a choice if you're going to be with someone or not be with someone? Like, isn't that a choice?
Obviously, that's...
You can feel how you feel, but
that's
the choices
a choice
you make...
That's a choice, but I meant love is not a choice. Like, you can't choose to turn off your feelings for somebody.
Yeah, but I feel like feelings are going to come and go. So if you're going to be married for 50 years, do you think you're always going to feel in love? No.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's a choice at the end of the day.
Yeah, but
your parents want to beat your brains out sometimes, right? Like when you're a kid.
Yeah, but they always love you, though.
Yeah.
So one day my mum can't, like, tomorrow say, you know what, Amber? Don't love you no more. It's gone. Completely
but
gone.
I bet sometimes they feel like that when you're acting a certain way.
I do not think that they do. So you think your parents sometimes are like, Pearl?
I feel like sometimes they felt like they wanted to kill me, you know?
But they still
love you, though.
They still love you.
But I'm saying it was a choice.
My mum's definitely wanted to kill me a couple times.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's unconditional love with children.
Yeah, if I was to ask, like, with your kids, I'll turn around to you and say, oh, maybe tomorrow you won't love them no more.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a different type of love. There's different types of love, isn't there? There's not just one type. So there's like agape love, that romantic love. There's that. I can't think with the children, but definitely with the children, it's that unconditional love. Whereas with men or partners, it is conditional to some degree.
But I don't feel like you choose any of it. That's how.
And I feel like, especially like, you know how we were talking about how we were in relationships when we were younger. I feel like when you're younger, you confuse the different types of love. Like, you might think, okay, I love this person, so even if they do this to me, it's not going to stop me feeling this way. So it kind of comes off as unconditional, but obviously at that age, you don't really understand. But it's just the feelings.
Do you think women would have better outcomes if our parents picked a husband for us?
No.
Yeah, I do actually. In a way, yeah. I think that arranged marriages have got a very good success rate.
Not with my mum.
I don't know, because also sometimes my mum will buy me like a rug for my room and I hate it, and that's just a rug.
I think a lot of time we go after chemistry, don't we? That's what we're feeling with these guys. It's the chemistry. It's not necessarily like this, like you mentioned earlier, I hope you don't mind, but you know, this sort of calming effect that this person has on you. I understand that now today to be love, when actually someone is like my peace and my calm. Whereas when you're younger, you go after the thrill, you go after the excitement, you know? So I just think that it's also like a hormonal response.
When did that switch for you? From going for the exciting guy to the more calm, peaceful guy? What age?
Yeah,
roughly?
good question. I think that probably 30.
Around 30.
Yeah, 29, 30. When I fell pregnant at 30. Yeah.
You felt pregnant.
I fell pregnant with a guy I was friends with for like 5 years, and then we had a family together very quickly.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And I kind of can't help but feel that there's a huge difference, and I think that for us sometimes we get them a little bit confused. There's a big difference between love and lust, and what we think, you know, that whole excitement, that thrill, that this is so not good for me, but I just want it anyway. Oh, he wants me, he desires me, he lusts me. There's a big difference between the two, and I think for me anyway, at the young age that I was, I don't know if I can even. The first phase of our relationship was definitely lusty. I think I put him on a pedestal to some degree. When we had the kids, it was love, but I think it was more staying in a situation for the wrong reasons, if that makes sense. So now, after coming out of that relationship, I was single for a long time, like 5 years I was single for. And I reflect on the chaos that was the last relationship and the war that I went through in the end of it. So now that over the 5 years, sort of coming to a place where you're comfortable with yourself, you really love yourself, you really know your worth and what you want from a person, it changes your view on your relationships.
But you know how you're talking about obviously lust and love and stuff? Don't you think that relationships come after lust? Because at the end of the day, for somebody to be attracted to you and to want to get to know you like that, it's all about physical attraction, how they feel about you in the beginning. So I feel like lust kind of can, in a way, play into love because it comes that way.
Not really. No one could turn my head that I really fancy now. I don't care how hot a guy is. He couldn't turn my head now for
cool,
you know what I mean?
Like, but if you were chatting to somebody, let's say you find them attractive, whatever, they start ticking your boxes as you go one by one, and then at the end of the day, you're gonna start feeling this person. You're gonna
It starts off as lust.
Yeah, you're gonna start getting attracted to him.
Looks fade as well.